absolutely. Absolutely. So on day 4, Saturday, that is our first day of the year. And that is a Sabbath for us. We're not supposed to work on that day. Um, it is also the first day for those who are on the Hillel calendar because I looked at in Stellarium and it is a sliver moon. They'll be able to see it on that day, but it is also a Shabbat for them at the same time. Those
Right. I
choosing
will say, I will say the Jewish calendar, I don't think that's the first day of the year for the Jewish calendar because they actually don't go by the sliver. But I know what you're talking about.
okay,
A lot of the fellowships do go by the sliver.
right. And
Yeah.
there is a Zadok calendar where they actually do use the sliver.
Wow.
So yeah, I know, right?
The
But
he the Hebrew calendar is March 19th for 2026 is the first day of the sacred year.
okay. So then okay. No,
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clarification because the Hillel does not line up with the slivers. It's a calculated Jewish Talmudic thing.
okay. Well, there are people who do use the sliver, so it would also
Oh
be,
yeah,
yeah, it would be their first day.
gotcha.
But because Saturday is a weekly end of the week Shabbat, everybody's going to be on this, right? All of us,
Right.
right? So, but when you read it here, I'm going to read it, okay? Chapter 25, Matthew chapter 25, and I'm going to read 1 through, I'm just going to read 1 through 6. Then the reign of the heavens shall be compared to 10 maidens who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise and 5 foolish. Those who were foolish, having taken their lamps, took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their containers with their lamps. Now, while the bridegroom took time, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, see, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him. Okay, so the reason the foolish do not have enough oil in their lamps is because the oil has to do with Shabbat, right? They're on their seventh day Shabbat, their day of rest. But us, we're still preparing for our Shabbat at the end of the week. We have more oil to get us through to the seventh day of the week, which happens to be um,
Tuesday.
on Tuesday, right, March 24th. That's our oil. And the reason why they are told to buy oil is because for them it's not a Shabbat. It's not a Shabbat, but for us it is a Shabbat, and we're going to meet with Yahushua on the true Shabbat. We're meeting with him. They got to go by because this is not what they have been. They've rejected the calendar. They've rejected the time frame.
Well,
So,
I look at it as in covenant, out of covenant is what,
right.
yeah.
Okay, that's a better way of saying it.
So wouldn't they be under the impression that they are on a, a they're on their Sabbath because it's a Saturday? I, but so
They would, but this is Tuesday and this is our Sabbath.
uh-huh.
And day 4 on Saturday, that's our first day of the year. And it is a Sabbath, but it's not the first 7 day Sabbath of the
Right,
year.
right.
So, so on that first seventh day Sabbath, we are literally meeting with Yahushua on that day. But everybody else, they're doing theirs later. they're doing it on the 28th of March.
Deborah. Oh, sorry, Christina, for interrupting.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So, Deborah, Christina, you explained this to Carolyn and me, and I was like I was grasping certain parts of it, but this is new. Like it's like I'm hearing it for the first time now. So I'm going to try to explain it to Deborah, if you don't mind, in a little bit different of a
No,
way.
go for it. Go
Okay.
for it.
So if we consider what we believe is the creation week calendar, there are 7 days in it. You need to have enough oil to light the menorah for all 7 days.
Okay.
If they've only prepared to have enough oil to last them to the end of their week, which ends on Saturday.
And
Does that make
it's
sense?
4 days. It's halfway
Yeah.
through. That makes
Right.
sense. Okay, I
That
got it.
makes, Christina, thank you for explaining it again to me, because I didn't get it the first time, but I'm so glad I
No,
do now.
thank you, Linda. I love it. I love it when you can help with the explanation. Thank you, thank you. So that that is the parable of the virgins, the 10 virgins, right there. As far as, and at midnight a cry was heard, see, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him. I just believe that that is just us preparing for our Sabbath. We're
Christina,
preparing to meet him. Yeah.
sorry, can I interject again?
No, go for it.
When you said that won't be their Sabbath, that still is the first day of the year. It is a Sabbath. So I was like, why would he tell them to go buy oil if it's a Sabbath, if we're supposed to be keeping that first day as a Sabbath? But like you just mentioned, it's midnight, so it's after the day, but it is the fourth of the week still. So they can go because it's dark and buy oil either way. You know what I mean? After the Sabbath day is completed.
Right.
But the point is, they do not have enough oil on Saturday to make it through to Tuesday.
And it's the gates are shut.
Yep.
The gates are shut that day.
Wait, which day? On our Sabbath?
On our Sabbath, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now the first day of the year, yes, that I don't really call that a Sabbath. I mean, it's not a holy day, it's just a no work day, correct?
Right.
It is. It is. It is.
But can you buy? Can you buy on a
That was my
No.
question.
Right.
No.
You can't buy.
Right.
Mm-mm.
You just don't
Yesterday,
do normal work, but you can fix meals and stuff like that.
Yes, it's not a high Sabbath.
That's what I was getting at. Right. Okay.
and yesterday I was under the impression, Christina, that you were talking about the 7th-day Sabbath, that they were told to go buy some oil because it wasn't their Sabbath, but it was Yah's Sabbath.
Yeah, um that was my interpretation, but um uh it they are told to go by while they go in to meet with the Messiah.
Well, maybe that's why it's midnight, because so they're preparing for their Sabbath. They would have enough oil to make it through their Sabbath, what they understand the Sabbath to
Right.
be. But once that sun's down, then they can go by because they're out.
That's right. And by the time they get back,
Yeah, they realize
shut.
that evening they're out, but you guys, you have more time left because you're not on the correct Sabbath. You had prepared for the wrong Sabbath,
Right.
basically. So their oil would have lasted through their what they considered to be the Sabbath, but at that point, when their oil runs out, is kind of like in the night, and he's saying, "Go by."
Right. And it says here in verse 10, and while they went to buy, The bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut. So anybody else coming in with their oil in verse 11, and later the other maidens also came, saying, Master, Master, open up for us. But he answering said, Truly I say to you, I do not know you. Watch
So,
therefore, because you do not know the day nor the hour in which the Son of Adam is coming. They don't have the correct time frame.
yeah, they're completely clueless on the calendar, on the priestly order, where they are, and the timeline. And that's what we've been talking about a lot lately is the door is shutting rapidly. If people don't wake up soon, there's just flat not enough time to catch up. It takes time to build and understand, where we are. That's not something you can just quickly explain to folks.
Mitzi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just left. That's why I'm in the car and now I'm taking my daughter to work. We were in Enoch, I believe it's chapter 82. When Enoch comes back, the archangels bring him back to his house and they give him 1 year to teach his son everything that he learned, you know? So I was just thinking, like, we have so basically what I'm saying is a year is like kind of the minimum amount of time you need to teach people these concepts, right?
Yeah.
Look at how long it took for us.
Yeah.
A year.
Well, look about what we talked about a few months ago with the vineyard guy, and who was told by the owner to dig up the tree because it had not been producing, and he said, "Give me 1 year." And we kind of thought that this was the last year, the 1 year, that this was it. So that's kind of like on the same lines. 1 year, this is the last year, and then the door is shut.
I think we're there.
Somebody had some lightning. That was perfectly timed thunder.
That's me. Sorry. Yeah,
No,
with
I mean, it's
the
almost
storms.
kind of like, yes, guys, time's running out.
Yeah,
Is
it was
is it a is it a thunderstorm?
Yeah, yeah,
as,
the storm's
Wow.
moving in.
as a confirmation there, right?
That was an exclamation mark. Uh, yeah, so, when Neil and I were in Michigan talking to his brother and his wife, I mean, they were just. I just let them ask questions because it's so hard to try to even understand where to start to
Yeah.
try to catch people up. But I will say that y'all's got to be working with Ann too because she's on board. But it's interesting when he's working with people, things click, and you
Mhm.
you can tell it's clicking. And he'll make up the time with them if they're willing. But if there's any pushback and if there's it's just almost like you have to be ready, willing, and things are clicking at this point because time is so short. That 11/1 date is rapidly approaching. August is almost here.
Yeah, it's like 230 days or something. It's
I
Yeah.
ridiculous.
know. I'm mind blown. But to continue, the day on our Shabbat, Gamul and Deliah switch places. Now Gamul is done with his week, and now Deliah comes into service. Well, number 23, Deliah, his name means Yah has delivered. So the maidens have been delivered to Yahushua. They've been delivered to him. And then I had a thought like, oh my goodness, what if they're out running because now the beast is after them. They've got to go where they need to go and be there by the first day of unleavened bread.
Which is
So,
only a couple weeks later.
exactly. And so Maaziah happens to be ruling in that week, and his name means rescue of Yah. So I believe um, that the bride, they make it. They make it and they celebrate the first day of unleavened bread with Yahushua. And they may have been on a journey and maybe not been able to
Partake
have
of the first Passover.
right. So they get to take part in the second Passover instead. I think it works out. So either way.
Yeah, I do too, because that is an odd thing, and I think it's in Numbers chapter 9, and that's always made me scratch my head, because it says, this is Numbers chapter 9. Then the Eternal spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, If any one of you or your posterity is unclean because of a corpse, or is far away on a journey. Well, you kind of have some control whether you're on a journey or not, don't you? You do not plan journeys during Passover. But if you're commanded to flee and you're running through for your life because Satan or the beast is chasing you, you it says clearly, I think this is written in here for the end times event specifically. Being far away on a journey, he may still keep the Eternal's Passover on the 14th day of the second month at twilight. So I think it's written that way specifically because Yah is not going to pardon you if you just happen to say, well, I'm going to go on a cruise during Passover. Obviously not. That is not an acceptable journey.
Mm-mm. So that was well, that was my take yesterday because I was just blown away. I was just blown away by all this.
So, Mitzi, when you just said, talking about that, taking a cruise during the first Passover, you wouldn't do that. But you know that phrase that people use all the time, like life is a journey or whatever. If you come into understanding right after Passover and then you want to follow him, I feel like that's an excuse too. You're on some sort of spiritual journey, and that could be an excuse. You come into covenant, you want to follow him, you commit yourself to all his ways. That's an excuse. That's an excused journey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I just mean, in general, I used to read that and I think, if you're on a journey because you choose to be, gone on the Passover, that is not an acceptable excuse. So, yeah,
No
he,
way.
yeah, right. So that's always made me, convince me anyway, that that was specifically written for this group of people that'll be on the run, being, what's going on described in Revelation 12, right? And another thing, Deborah found this. If you go to Isaiah 26:20, you know, Christina, you might already notice this because these numbers thing, but so we're in 2026. Y'all's calendar is flipped over at this point, and it says, Come, my people, enter your chambers and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation is past. For behold, the Eternal comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. So, obviously, I think this references also the Revelation 12, which hints at um, Revelation 12:15, Well, 14, but the woman was given two wings of a great eagle, so she's fleeing, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place where she's nourished for a time, times, and half a time from the presence of the serpent. And that specifically ties with Isaiah 26:20. Just flip it, 2026.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Doesn't that just blow your mind?
Yeah, Deborah,
Deborah, that was awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I about flipped out when I saw that, because he does that a lot, uses the chapter and verses number to, kind of like in Ezekiel showing us the 2017
Right.
for the Revelation 12 sign and how that integrates into all the end timeline events. So
Yeah.
it's all right there. It's just
I'm
amazing.
thinking, and this was something I was thinking about today, um, when I was at work, is Father is he's going to let us know where we need to go. I don't think he's going to let us know until right up to the moment, or close to the moment when we have to go. I know he's going to make a way, however it's going to be. And I just kind of wonder if it's a place where we all meet and we have such and such time to get there. Um,
I'll just throw this out there because of the eagle's wings.
mhm.
That a lot of time references to the angels. Think back to Lot. He sent two angels to go get Lot and his family. I think that's going to be replayed again. It's not going to depend on our ability to do anything. We just need to cooperate with them and go when they say, and not hem haul and run around like Lot and his family did, but especially his wife, right?
Right.
I think he's going to send his angels. They're going to gather the folks and then gather them together. And if you read Revelation, if Satan is chased, it'll be just like the Exodus all over again. We'll be together and moving because Satan, he's coming after her. And if you read it, the land, the earth helps her and opens up. Now, yes, he could be doing that all over the place, but I don't think he is. I think, again, patterns from scriptures, he replays them over and over, right?
Yeah.
So I do. I think angels gather us together in one place, and then we're on foot moving through some areas. And then he, of course, chases us. The earth does her thing to help us, and then we are put into the wherever we're going to be safe and sound. And then the Great Tribulation starts.
Right. I think what's interesting here in 15 and 16, and out of his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river after the woman to cause her to be swept away by the river. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Well, it sounds to me like he spewed armies of what? Right? We know that they've got technology like these little drones and all of these other things. And something else, the earth had opened its mouth and swallowed it up. So I'm still wondering about that. There is something definitely there. So I don't know. The earth helped the woman. Could that be people, or could that be like an earthquake or the
Yeah, who
ground opening
knows?
up? Yeah, but he definitely sends an army after her.
Right. And
Yeah,
then,
I guess that's what's most important is it doesn't in my opinion, I don't don't want to get stuck on the wrong stuff. I mean, I want to be able
Yeah.
to hear his voice and do what I'm supposed to do and just go and not look back. I think that's the other thing that, is definitely extremely important. I mean, yes, we'll be leading loved ones,
Yes.
animals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
home, family, yeah, right? And just don't look back and just go. And
Right.
Children. Yeah, we
however
got
he makes it happen, praise Yah. Yes,
Right.
I don't even dwell on all that stuff. I know I'm going to hear his voice, and I know what he expects, and he doesn't want me to look back. He wants me to go, go, go.
Right.
And that's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
And we've seen that in scripture, right? Lot and his
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
Lot's wife is the only person in scripture that we are told to remember.
Don't look back. Yep.
Yep. And then Psalm 91 goes with all this too. Um, it speaks of 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it won't come near you. And then it says, because you have made the eternal, who is my refuge, even the most high, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. And here we go. Now, yes, he was speaking of Yahusha, but in context, he's speaking of his people as well. He shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways.
Yeah. Funny. I've always thought that, here I am way over here in the middle of the Pacific. How the heck am I going to get anywhere? But
He'll
the
handle
only
it.
way, the only way I see it is with assistance from an angel. It has to be.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. When it happens, it happens. Praise Yah. And I hope, that's my hope, that I actually am escorted by an angel and not left behind.
Right.
I
And if we are, if we figure out, oh, wow, I must be spewed out, don't give up.
Don't
Don't
give
give up.
Keep
I mean,
moving.
because it's all over scriptures too that many, many folks that Satan wins over and they're beheaded, many of them will still be in the first resurrection. So don't give up.
Yeah, and look what these people, when they exited Egypt, look what they faced. I mean, they were stuck at the Red Sea with an army behind them, and they all thought they were going to die. And then
Yep.
boom, Red Sea opens. Like, keep
Yeah.
moving. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that stuff. Just keep moving. Keep
And yeah.
moving.
And like Linda said, remember Lot's wife.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you see the earth open up, then you know it's Yah. He's doing it. He just keep going. Keep your eye on the prize.
Well, and not only that, if you look back, that's going to slow you down because it'll either freak you out because of the sight and you end up standing there with your mouth open instead of moving.
Yeah. Well, and I liken that to Peter getting out of the boat.
Yeah.
Then scripture says he starts looking at the storm. Wouldn't you be
Poor
looking at the
Peter.
storm? And
Yeah,
instead of keeping your eyes on the straight and narrow path on Yahusha, right?
right.
And maybe look at it in a different way. Like, can you imagine being the Israelites fleeing or running from Egypt, and all this stuff is happening? They're witnessing all this amazing stuff, right?
And then
Well,
they turned around and did the golden calf.
then they grumbled. But how cool would that be? How cool would that be? So instead of like soiling your pants. I mean, whoa.
Marble it, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And wow, how blessed we would be to be able to see this happening and witness it and know what it is, trust what it is.
Can you
Amazing.
imagine? It's coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming fast upon us, and all we can do is just encourage each other. You know what I mean? Just encourage each other. So, Father keeps revealing more and more the closer we get.
Sure does.
Could I ask a question?
Absolutely, Anne. Glad you're talking.
Because I'm a little behind, but we had always thought that like the pickup for a place of safety would be probably after Passover or the first or on the first day of unleavened bread. But is what Christina just explained, y'all are looking more at that first Sabbath, fourth of month one, the Tuesday Sabbath after the head of spring. That's the mark for when that place of safety begins, or did I misunderstand?
Well, I think that's maybe when I don't know. I kind of think we might be gathered now on the Null day up there. Um, but so here's what I've always thought. So we know that the 1290, that's the abomination of desolation, right? And that's on March 4th. It's not on this, it's on the previous. So that's 1290. And we know that's when the beast walks in and declares himself Elohim in whatever kind of temple they're going to build. My thoughts are at that time, so as above, so below. I believe that's when Satan and a third of the angels attack the throne room in heaven. So now let's tie this to scripture. So back to Revelation 12. I don't have any proof it happens at the same time other than, they're always talking about, what goes on in heaven, there's an earthly version, right? So right here, um, Revelation 12, verse 7, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. But they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of old, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, I believe that happens on 1290. When the
Okay.
false prophet goes in, that's when Satan goes into the temple in heaven.
Oh,
And,
the
and his
1290 sign. 1290. Okay.
Yeah, 1290. So his rear end, his head, and those third of the angels bounce off the earth. Now it says, Revelation 12:13, now when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, who does he go after first? The
After
woman,
the woman.
right? So, and we know that the woman is nourished because in verse 14, for a time, times, and half a time. So she's nourished and in her place for the 1260, which begins the first day of unleavened bread. So she has to be in her place by unleavened bread. So that means between 1290 and 1260 is when she's gathered, and then the first thing Satan does is come after her once he homes in on where she is. right?
Mitzi, Mitzi.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know this was something that were unsure about getting into, but I think what you said about the possibility of us getting gathered on the null day is important that we talk about why. Like, I'll be home in like 3 minutes, so I'll have my notes in front of me. But did you want to talk about that subject?
Yeah, I do.
I do
And
too.
I think we should throw it out as a possibility. I mean, we're not saying for sure this is, take it to the bank or anything, but it sure makes sense to me. Um, so, but anyway, Anne, did that answer your question?
Sort of.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, the chase, I think, has to be between 1290 and 1260 because scripture plainly says that the woman is put away in her place by the start of the Great Tribulation, which is the first day of unleavened bread. So that means we're gathered together somewhere prior to that, and Satan chases us and is unsuccessful because we're safely tucked away by the time 1260 or the Great Tribulation starts, and then he turns to go after the rest of her offspring that keep the commandments and have the testimony of Yahusha. So that's kind of what we're trying. That's what Linda's talking about. I think we're homing in on roughly when that is. Um,
Well, I was specifically talking about, and I'm hoping that this will help Anne's understanding of why we're thinking that we would be gathered on that null day. And it's because of the 8 days worth of consecration for the bride.
right, right. So Anne, so back to, so this woman, okay. So anytime a new temple is being consecrated, a new altar. And we found in the Dead Sea Scrolls that every year there's a cleansing of the temple and the altar prior to their use. And we know from scripture, and on the eighth day it is clean, and there's 7 days to be set apart. And this goes back to, I believe it's Leviticus 8.
Okay.
8:33. So this is the consecration of Aaron and his sons before they could start ministering as the Levitical priesthood. And it says, "And you shall not go outside the door of the tabernacle of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your consecration are ended. For 7 days he shall consecrate you." So that means the eighth day they're ready to roll, but not before. So what is the bride in a way? So I think Yahusha meets up with her and starts teaching her those 3.5 years, just like he taught his disciples, just like he taught Paul, right? And Isaiah 33:17 gives ample evidence that we will see the king in his beauty. We're going to have to be cleansed before we have access to Yahusha. Just like in the millennial reign, you must be cleansed before you're going to enter that temple before Yahusha, right?
Yeah.
So must we be cleansed. So so there's your eighth day. So if we're taken on the null day, that's day one of our cleansing. The first day of creation day, two, three, four, five, six, seven. On the eighth day, that first Sabbath of the year, we will be officially clean. And I think just like Christina was saying, we will be presented to Yahusha. Not in heaven or anything, just like after he can reveal himself as human, right? So he went back and forth. He can do that again, privately, of course. But
Yeah.
it's just so interesting that there's your 7 day consecration. Um, and then what really hit me too is so that null day represents the 360, the 3 day 365 of the calendar, right? Because Yah's calendar only has 364. And we know the sun makes its perfect rotation in 365 in roughly a little less than a quarter. So what came to my mind was Genesis 5, where it said, Genesis 5:22, and here's that 22 for Gamul again. After he begot Methuselah, this is Enoch, Enoch walked with Elohim 300 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and he was not, for Elohim took him. So to me, that's kind of a repeat that these five wise virgins walked with Elohim, and he's going to take us and set us apart, cleanse us, right, for those 8 days. On the eighth day, we will be clean. And it just, there you go, that first Sabbath of the year at the ending or the seventh day of creation week.
Well, you want to know the numbers that you just the five wise virgins, Genesis 5, and then 22 Gamol.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But what's crazy, March 24th is, Enoch walked with Elohim and he was not, for Elohim took him. And the 24th is when that first Sabbath is going to be. And they're gathered to Yahusha.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You,
Yeah.
you,
I mean, it's just. So, Linda, did you have something else to add? But that's the way I'm seeing this.
I like how I was like, Mitzi, oh, take it away. And then I stroll in at the end and I'm like, no, that about does it. Thank you. You said that way better than I could have. Thank
Oh,
you.
no, no. But I mean, it just, as I'm thinking through my head, I understand the null day is not at 365 position, but it can't be because you have to keep that creation week continuity that perfectly matches Genesis 1, 2, that's your null day. And then it goes through creation day 1, 2, 3, that's your equinox day. Day 4, there's your first day of the year. And then 3 days later is the Sabbath. I mean, it's so beautiful how all this works. And when I thought of, Genesis 5:22, it's just like he's trying to tell us that.
So,
These folks walked with Elohim. They are the virgins, they are the righteous, and he will take care of them.
so I just wanted to say, Anne, well, if you don't already have this calendar, the one that Mitzi, are you the one sharing screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this says, so the null day, that's what Mitzi's saying, positionally, not exactly, but it represents the 365th day of the year. But we, on the version that Mitzi has, it says day 8. But I have corrected that, and we now do believe that the eighth day of consecration is actually the first Sabbath of the year. That is what we believe right now. So unless we get convicted or taught otherwise, that's where we're at. But I just don't want this day 8 null day to confuse anyone that's watching or listening right now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
And Ann, I just sent you the updated calendar, so I hope I sent you the right one. We have so many versions flying around. So
I always date every time I get one and download it. I date it the day I get it, so I know which one's the latest one, the newest
Yeah.
one,
A
whatever.
great idea.
Yeah.